how did you start in this? Like,
Yeah.
where did you come from? Like, you know, like where does and how did you land at Royal LePage Signature and Mississauga? Like, how did it all happen?
Yeah. So I'm one of those guys, David, who doesn't do a lot of planning. I don't analyze. I analyze, but I don't overanalyze stuff. So I came in Canada in 2009,
From
India, and I came here to become a pilot. But that
Shut
didn't
up.
that didn't happen. I was supposed to fly 220 hours of single engine plane, whatever, blah blah blah. That didn't happen. Then I used to do some small accounting jobs here and there. I didn't like it because my philosophy was if I got to work from 9 to 5, I want to do something where I can make the maximum moolah, money.
Of course.
You know? So then I left that one. Most of the brown Indian guys are into IT, and everybody was just, all the time they're just talking about I'm making 100 grand, I'm making $100 an hour, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, if you motherfuckers can do it, I can do it too, even though I'm not as educated. I'm not educated. Like, my education is not that much. But I was like, but I have that energy that I want to do something. But what? I have no clue. Like, I didn't have a path. I didn't have any uncle, dad who used to be in a business or whatever. Like, it's just me. Either I figure out by myself or I just keep doing the small jobs that I'm doing.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but you came to Canada by yourself or did you have family here?
No, I got married and I came here.
Oh, you got married first?
Yeah, I got married first.
Oh, wow.
So if you're coming from India or any other city to Canada, don't get married.
Don't get married first.
Come here, explore, because it's a different world altogether. And
I don't think people realize how beautiful our women in Toronto are.
Oh, man.
I don't think people realize
Don't let me start it. Yo, it's not going to my wife. Okay.
Yeah, your wife might not want to watch this episode just in case.
It's like, because back home, you're just sort of exposed to a certain, butter chicken. Let's just put it that way. But when you come down here, you are surrounded by white, green, brown, red, whatever woman that you name it.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. But again, I was 25 when I came.
Okay.
Now I'm freaking old, 15 years here. So anyways, long story short, pilot didn't work, small accounting jobs didn't work, got into IT somehow, cleared some of the certifications, SAP. I remember the first job that I got in Milton. And because every job that you're going to, they're asking 5-year, 10-year experience.
Yeah.
But how do you get that? You got to start from somewhere. So everybody was rejecting. I was like, fuck, I'm just going to fake it just to get into the market. So I did. And then this one guy in Milton manufacturing company, he hired me. But after a week or so, he figured it out that this dude he doesn't know shit. And he used to fuck me every single day. He used to call me and give me tasks that is not possible for a single guy to do it. And I don't know anything. And I was like, okay, I'll take it back. And I used to call someone back home in India and I was like, how the fuck do I do it? Like, I don't know anything. So he just fucked me for the first 3 months. And then last day, because 3 months is the probation time.
Yeah.
And then he said, dude, I knew from the first week that you don't know no shit and blah. And I said, yeah, I figured it out. But then he obviously asked me to leave and whatnot. But those 3 months basically taught me everything. He made me ready for the next interview.
Right.
So when I'm going for the next one, I'm not faking because I am sharing the real experience that I had.
Yeah, yeah.
So from there, I started from the second IT, the third IT, and then I started doing contracts for all the banks. So from $13, $14 an hour to probably made it to $120 an hour.
Wow.
And then I did IT for a few years with CIBC.
Yeah, but I like
TD.
that lesson. Let's stop right there. Like, I love the life lesson right there. Like, there's a couple of things that I don't always suggest people do. And people say, no, fake it till you make it. But you actually did that, which is, some people say do it. Hey, listen, to each their own. Yeah. But the part I like is about you failing and learning from the failure. Yeah. I always, if you watch a lot of my videos. I don't know why, but you watch a lot of my videos.
Yeah, I do.
And we talk about all the time. We talk about failing. And I think our culture is, we're trying to push people to fail so you learn how that. Whereas we're growing up as kids, like, and especially in an Italian household, you didn't fail. It was almost like, oh no, you can't fail. Like things are, I think the mind shift is changing, and you're a prime example of that. And I love that. Sorry, continue. I just wanted to put a life lesson over there. Like, you actually put into practice about failing first and then learning from your mistakes.
I think wherever I am today, it's just because of the failures that I had.
Love it.
And I had more failures than success. Because out of 40 years, I think 80% of my life I didn't have money. Struggling for money, struggling for like money, like grocery money, struggling like
which a lot of Canadians are going through right
now.
Yeah,
you're just all you're thinking about is how are you gonna take care of your family, your expenses. So I started working when I was really young. But anyways, off the topic. So where were we again?
so now you had just started working for the banks, and then you started making the big money, and then so how did that happen? So after
from there, I thought, you know what, because I'm done like at 4:00, in my job or whatever, but I wanted to do something else too. So what do I do? So I said, okay, let's just get the license, because
for real estate.
I see you guys driving big cars and, all the fancy lifestyle. But my plan was to get a license, and maybe I can do a part-time, what I can just sell it to my friends, families, and I had no clue how the whole industry works. So that was the initial thought when I got my license, that I'll do IT and part-time. But I got my license and my contract was getting over. And I remember I got an offer from Scotia. But then I spoke to my wife and I was like, you know what, let's just take a break. I'm going to leave my IT contract. I'm going to do this thing for 6 months and see how it works. If it works, good. If it doesn't work, I'll go back to IT, right? And I remember we had a fight for at least a week between me and my wife, because the money was coming, but I was still into a lot of debt and whatnot. And even my dad has a lot of losses back home. So I needed the money. So I took a huge risk. And it wasn't like I'm leaving a $15 or a $20 hour job. I'm leaving something which is approximately $100. So my monthly billing was between $15,000 to $20,000, just sitting at home on your computer, not going to the office every day. Mm-hmm. So the money was big. So the risk was big. On top, I had a lot of debt. And I got to support my family back home too. But I said, let me take that risk. But she was like, you're like fucked up. You're gonna, because of you, we'll be outside Tim Hortons holding cups and asking for money with 2 kids. It's not going to work and blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, give me 6 months. We'll figure out something. But anyways, yeah.
It's so funny. It's funny how we parallel some things and are totally different than others. Like when I got packaged out from Hydro, I had offers to work as a treasury analyst.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to do it. My wife's like, you don't love it.
Like,
I never loved it. I loved the part of so when I first started as a treasury analyst, my job was to invest the company's money.
Yeah.
And we wheeling and dealing. That's what I liked about it.
Correct.
By the end of the job, it was a lot of accounting. Right. It was boring shit. Like literally my investments worked out to be 1 phone call or 1 email. I need this amount of money. Okay. And it was done. Like there's no wheeling and dealing, but that was the fun part, like talking to the banks and all that stuff. So when I didn't even think about being a realtor, but it's funny. My wife was like, yeah, like when I was doing my license, she goes, yeah, you should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah.
I never thought of it, but I didn't know how much realtors made. I didn't know the industry. I had no idea this stuff. And I've said this many, many times, but I remember looking, I was getting about $110,000. I was working at Hydro as an analyst. I remember saying to my wife, is like, as long as I can make that, or even less than that, because the taxes are less, we'll be fine. And that's all I was worried about. She's like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my wife at that point, I was encouraging, she already had 2 businesses, which I've helped her with through. So she understood the driving the amount of money. So we come from different mindsets, but it's just so funny. Like, my wife is the opposite. Like, yeah, go for it. You should be doing this.
I think because the kind of choices that I've taken even before, it wasn't that successful. So she was always worried that, oh, he's going to take another one and we're going to be more fucked and blah, blah, blah. And we're going to have more debt. And so, but I'm glad that I took that chance. I took that risk. And just because of that, I figured it out. What exactly do I want to do in life?